like to slash you. King of the city, I don't want to be a big fish in a small pond. Trying to get across that water. I need fans in Vietnam. If you got to hustle, but you can't stick to the grind, you wasting your time. I need a double a verse. I do it for FaceTime before I get to the club. Look at the line. Money ain't changed my heart, but I'm smarter. I guess it changed my mind. And I take care of my in prison. Don't think it's...
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. This crowd loves their orange and black. The scene just a short time ago, they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football as the Bengals get set to do battle with Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. It's the final 3 weeks of the season, still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. J.J. Nelson now to return. A little juke, and now running right through it. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. J.J. Nelson, 99 yards, and the Raiders have taken the early lead. And that right there is how you silence the home crowd.
All week long in preparation, visiting teams talk about it. Okay, we've got to start fast. We've got to take the crowd out of it, as you just talked about there. We've got to control the ball early. And in this case, forget fast start. This is a blazing start. What they've talked about all week is their offensive unit doing that. Not necessarily the guys returning the opening kickoff, but believe me, they'll take this.
Hey, get ready for something coming left.
Four down. Shoot.
Break it. Side.
First and 10 for Dalton. Over the middle, Dorsett. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Over here, yes. Go. We're good.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
And as he sees the play clock ticking down, Marvin Lewis decides to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive. So they are going for it. Now Dalton. Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. And he's going to get the first down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. A first down throw coming for Dalton. He finds Ross, right side, it's complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Go. We're good. 57, you got 59 over there.
It's second down. Dalton looking. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Ross. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Dalton going to break the huddle, come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. To the left side here for Eifert. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A gain of 6 there on first. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
We're good.
And it'll be Dalton again, rolling to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
I don't think either one of us is surprised about who they just targeted on that one. I mean, they're going to try and get to him as much as possible. Off to a nice start, but unable to haul that one in.
Yeah, already looked his way a couple of times on this opening drive. Can't connect there. Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down.
Hey, go, 368. 59. Hey.
And as he sees the play clock ticking down, Marvin Lewis decides to call a timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down.
Hey, go, 368. Over here. Lead. 52-44. Get ready for 57 over there. Watch it. Legs up. Move. Legs up.
And again, Andy Dalton to throw. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
There you go. 93, 52, 93, 44, 44. There you go. 2 by 2. Move.
They'll try on fourth. Here's Dalton, eluding the pressure right. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Marvin Lewis tries for it, but comes up empty. And this defense delivers a turnover on downs on the very first drive of the afternoon. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. And on the ground they go with the running back. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. On 2nd down, here's Carr. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Oh, and now he bowls him over. A big play there on the catch and run. 45 yards. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
Now a handoff looking right. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
Here's a 1st and 10 now after they successfully drew him off sides. And they'll try the ground game here with a running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Carr keeps it on the sneak. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal.
Get set. 93.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line.
Hey, Raider 2. Go. Get set.
They get it to him running left. And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. A great play there. His 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Raiders add on to their lead. Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. The drive starts with a handoff to Bernard. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
368. 2 by 2. Move. Move. Hot.
2nd down, Dalton. Got a man open, it's Ross. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the play. First down now, but that clock rolling. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. The linebacker, Preston Brown, brings him down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. A big play, Dalton to his favorite receiver, Green, 58 yards. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. Dalton operating in the red zone now. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on 2nd down. And they'll get him down up past the 15. That'll go for a gain of 13, helping big time to get away from that end zone. 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Here we go. Get set, get set. 93. 93.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a third down. Play action. Now it's Carr. He gets it to Brown. Complete. First catch for the NFL's leader in receiving yards a year ago, and a first down. A good grab there by the former Central Michigan man, Antonio Brown.
And he ate up some real estate on the catch, too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered well, he somehow finds a way to get it.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. 2 first downs have them up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. On first down, Carr is going to flip one out here to his running back. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Later 2. Right now.
And that'll set him back 5. The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
6:37. Yeah, 98's down. 58, 98.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That one good for 12 yards. And it's a 2nd down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
We got 3, fellas. We got 3. 808. We got 56 there.
And they'll run it here. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Malik Jefferson in there on the stop.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with running back. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Now they try the right side here. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. Solid gain of 18 and a Raider first down. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. The Raiders on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
6:37.
Shotgun now for Carr. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Carl Lawson in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Now to try the field goal, here's Daniel Carlson. This to make it a 3-score game late. The kick by Carlson is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the inning, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
368! Lead! 59. 5-0, 5-0, 5-0. Go, on the ball.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Four down, check.
Lead! 318!
Hey, 96 is coming. Go, Mike, 96.
There you go, 368!
Mike, 96.
There you go, 368!
Pretty quiet, team.
Nice.
Dalton now to pass. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A big play there. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Bengals are able to draw a bit closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
Bullock good on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. Bullock out now to kick this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And solid field position here to start as they get it out to the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10.
694. 93.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Carr going to look to throw. Over the middle here to Brown. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Antonio Brown His 9th touchdown of the season. And the forced fumble defensively leads to 6 points for the Raiders. Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
There you go, 368.
We got 4. We got 4.
Nice.
Hey, Mike's 42.
Over here, yes. 368.
Switch.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And his throw's going to be incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
The first carry for the second-year man, Joe Mixon. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Go, on the ball. On the ball.
4 down. Check.
Heavy. Nice. Nice.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. Buying time to his left. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. And now before they run this 4th down play, we're going to get a timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Lead. 368.
They're running it.
Move.
Check. Lucky.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Flushed out right. And this is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Raiders are going to win the football game. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Carr going to throw here. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
You got 56 there. What's up?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Only a yard of the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And they won't run a play here, no victory formation. They will indeed try to get 3 more. He connected on his first, this from 41. And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Oakland, they continue to roll as the win gets them to 12-2 on the year. And they'll be back home next week to take on the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.